hopefully you can see my screen.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great title.
yeah. So what first of all, I put this together. I have no idea how long this talk will take. We might be done in 10 minutes, or we might be here for 2 hours. I really don't know how long it's going to take. Um, and so I thought what I would do as a way of helping you understand the risks that can affect you is I thought I would give you a crash course in how to hack your friends, family, or strangers for fun and profit. Um,
Yeah.
I th I thought I'd show you what it is the hackers are doing, and then for each one show you as a way of getting out of it or a way of preventing it.
Brilliant.
And also, while I was putting the talk together, I thought this is for a camera club, isn't it? So why not? Let's shove some pictures in, right? So these pictures are random and really nothing to do with the rest of the talk. But it's nice to pad these things out with stuff. So this shot was taken at one evening down at Newquay this year. I got down there. I planned to do some landscape photography, and when I got down there, I discovered that it was completely high tide, so there was no no land to stand on. There was nowhere to get to. But what I didn't notice was that the setting sun was lighting up all these uh, waves as they came in, and the surfers were doing their thing. So I got the long lens out, and that's how I got that shot. Got thousands of surfer shots from that particular evening.
Great shot, Chris.
All right, now. So let's start off with something that we can all understand, right? I'm going to go slowly with all of this stuff. Um, if if you do things differently to how I tell people to do, can you leave that till the end, right? Because I'm trying to make this all as simple as possible, not confuse people with there are lots of different options, because there are lots of different options for this stuff. But I just want to try and make things as simple as possible so as we all understand them and we've got all our ducks in a line and singing off the same hymn sheet. So really simple idea for you. How secure is your house? All right. So I asked AI to draw me a house, and this is the house I got. Um, Now we're kind of let's pretend we're a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, and we want to rob this house. What shout out anybody ways we can break into this house?
Burgle it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
try and
but
open the front door first off.
front door. Yes, right, good. Thank you. Exactly what I wanted. Yeah, so the front door is kind of a weak point and an entry point. So we better upgrade our security. So let's stick a decent front door in. Yeah. So what's our next line of attack as ne'er-do-wells and burglars?
Well,
Through
go
the
around the back
window.
because it's hidden.
Go around the back, Jeff. Well done. So we'll put a fence up there to stop people getting around the back. Anybody see any other lines of approach there?
Yeah, the window.
Windows.
Yeah, or maybe we could just jump over that little picket fence.
Just go
Uh,
dog.
yeah. So I think that little picket fence isn't really going to stop anybody getting around the back. So we probably need something a bit more secure, something like that. Yeah. And of course, you said you've got the windows as well. So let's board up the windows. That should keep that nice and secure. Now, is that house completely secure?
Down the chimney.
Well, you could go down the chimney. Or, I mean, if you had a lot of time,
You could pick the lock.
you could pick the locks or just smash the stuff off the front. So really what we need is 24/7 guard posts. And somebody completely keeping track of our house to make sure it's secure. Right. So the point is that really nothing is truly secure, right? All you can ever do is slow down people who are trying to nick your stuff, right? Um, with enough time and resources, anything can be broken into. Um, and the big problem that we have in the world of computer security is that the internet has infinite time and resources. Yeah. There's an infinite, well, there's say 1 billion people out there probably trying to hack your computer. And they've got just huge amounts of resources. So when people ask about computer security and wonder how things got hacked, um, all you can do is make yourself a less tempting target than anybody else, you know. Hopefully if your email is really, really secure, they'll go off and break into Jaguar Land Rover instead because they sound like a much better idea. Yeah. So that's what we do. We're trying to make our stuff as secure as possible to make it as difficult as possible. But at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed. So, oh yeah, this is central London. The I think that is a pattern shot from this is the cheese grater to the left. I think the scalpel to the right and something else in the middle. Just like the patterns, really, that one. Anyway, so here we go back to hacking strangers for families for fun and profit. Now that we know that nothing is completely secure, why don't we let's go hacking? Yeah. So we we need to we want to go and hack some system or some email accounts or some online system. So how do we do it? All right. So it's pretty easy. First of all, we need a list of people's IDs and passwords. Yeah, if we've got your ID and password, we can log in as you. That's the easy bit, really. Yeah. How do we get a list of IDs and password? Well, um, we could hack some vulnerable sites. Um, if we're clever with we've got our hacking trousers on, we'll go and we'll find ourselves maybe some small companies, little company, little, as the Americans call it, a mom and pop store that's got an online website. We'll have a look at it. The admin password is admin123, and we're in, and we'll get a list of passwords and IDs. Now, the thing is I get email addresses and passwords, and I'm already into that site, so that doesn't help me that much, except people reuse IDs and passwords. If you reuse that ID and password, I can use it somewhere else. New companies, they're another great workplace to go looking for, because they're busy setting up and doing stuff, and people computer security gets forgotten about, gets put down to the list. You'd rather have a website that works than a secure one that doesn't work. So people, tend to push that down, and so we start looking at new companies, see if we can hack them, or maybe we can just hack big companies. Right, so we can go off and find the likes of Adobe or Netflix or somebody like that and try and hack them. Because the nice thing about big companies is somebody always thinks it's somebody else's job to keep things secure. Yeah, so there's always there's always somebody has forgotten to reset a password, um, or there's a password. So we at work we get every 6 months we get hacked by a red team, which is hackers that we pay to hack our sites, or hack our company, see if they can get in. And then 6 months after that, they have a purple team that's sort of just as bad, but we know they're in, whereas the other team we don't know. And um, they the way they get in and find things it's never ceases to amaze me. I mean, they managed to find a password on on an internal website where somebody had set a password for somebody, and it hadn't been changed for the last 10 years. Right. And then that gave them a key that they could get in and escalate up, and soon they were running the entire company. They have full access to the entire company. So, you know, even in,
Mm.
companies that are trying to do this security a lot, there's always ways to find a list of IDs and passwords. But um, judging from the fact that I think most of you hacking days are long gone, you probably don't really want to be spending all your time hacking these companies. So why don't we just buy a list of them off the dark web? Yeah. On the dark web, you can buy lists of user IDs and passwords in the thousands for peanuts. Um, so you can just download it. You know, you little bit of cyber currency, cover your tracks, and you've got a list of IDs and passwords. But
You haven't given the link there, though.
yeah. Well, you'd need to. So on the dark web is usually you need the Onion browser to get on there, and it's full of nastiness, and you don't want to go there. I wouldn't. It's like going down a dark alley, Paul. I wouldn't try. I wouldn't go down there at your age.
Okay. I, I
Um,
appreciate it. Thank you.
So now we've got this list of IDs and passwords. What do? Well, we go hacking. Now, this sounds terribly, terribly difficult, doesn't it? But it's not because we just got a list of IDs and passwords. So what we do is put our list of IDs and passwords into an automated tool that we got off the web. They're easy to find. You can grab hold of one, and then we run it against a load of different sites. And if anybody has reused their ID and password from one site to another site, we're in. Ka-ching. That's it. That's all you need to do to hack people. Yeah. Get hold of a list of passwords, try it against a different system. Yeah, because people reuse passwords. Um, Back to the photography. This background, this is from a place called Laredo in Kent. Um, and it's
Can't see anything, Chris.
yeah, you got the background with the glasses and the money.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So Laredo is
I was
it,
looking on the dark web.
yeah. It's a Wild West town. It was built in a group of them started to build it in the 1980s. And basically it's been in some films, and Red Dwarf used it as well. And it's private. You can't go there just for fun. The only way you can get on it is on the timeline events where they actually let you in. But when you get in, it's great because you're just basically in this Wild West town, and because all the guys and girls who built the town. Um, are getting quite old now, so they're great for portraits and things like that because you've got all these great faces to take pictures of. So, strongly recommend that if you're looking for a timeline event and for Christmas or something like that, then I reckon Laredo is definitely one that's worth going to. I had a lot of fun there. So it was my second trip there.
Did you use the
So,
Olympus? Use the Ollie to take that picture, Chris?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is amazing. That looks full frame plus. That is crystal, isn't it?
Yep. Um, so
Chris, just going back a step, does that
yeah.
mean guys who are helping large organizations like your bank building firewalls actually go into Tor just to do some research, or it's verbatim to go into the dark web?
It would be for our guys. The the hacking companies that we pay probably, yeah, they would spend all their time researching stuff that's out there and keeping track. But yeah, that sort of stuff is aimed at what they call script kiddies, which
Yeah,
are
is it actually safe though to go onto Tor, or just going onto it
yeah,
could
yeah. No, you can go on and have a look around. I've never bothered, but yeah, it was created by the uh US Navy.
CIA, wasn't it? CIA created it, didn't they?
Well, the US Navy and the CIA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then it got out into the wide world.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they
They
sent
released
it.
it, didn't they?
Yeah, they released it for the reason that the whole point was there's no point having a completely secure internet if you look at a hotel and only one person's using the completely secure internet. There's a fair chance that person's your spy. Um, whereas if loads of people are using it, it makes it a lot harder.
I
So,
mean, that was the thing to use before VPNs become vogue.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And VPNs in the last, what, 2 months since they brought in new laws have gone absolutely bananas, haven't they?
Right, you're way beyond me. What are VPNs? Or should I be
Virtual
asked?
private networks.
Things like NordVPN you may have heard of, Paul. They advertise it all the time. A VPN is, go on, Chris, please, because you're obviously technically more astute
It's
than
a
me.
virtual private network, so it hides your internet traffic.
Right.
And what they said on the BBC is over the 2 months ago, they brought in age verification for porn sites.
You're
And
doing very well.
Oh
I
yeah,
love the way
Carl, you seem to know a lot about this.
yeah,
Go on.
I love the way
no, it was on the news. It was
yeah,
on the
you
Yeah,
sounded
Carl.
suitably
Yeah, no, I
sounded
haven't got a
suitably
I
vague,
have not
Warren.
got a VPN. I was going to ask Chris whether it's actually worth getting a VPN. That's what I was leading up to. But no, they brought in age verification to stop children going onto porn sites. There was a
Yeah,
massive article on the BBC News,
yeah,
and a lot of people have just reverted to going onto VPNs. So
yeah.
so the business in VPNs has grown exponentially in the last 2 months.
The other thing used to be people used to use it for like if something's limited to a country. So for instance,
Netflix or
Netflix,
films,
yeah,
yeah.
will only show you something in the US. You can go through a VPN and pretend to be from the US.
Do you use one, Chris, a VPN?
No, I don't.
Well, no,
Well,
I mean, it's
uh,
totally. I mean, let's not confuse the two things. Tor, and the dark web is not advisable, but millions and millions of businesses, companies, and people use
yeah.
VPNs, don't they?
Sorry,
They're
yeah.
huge.
I mean, we use I use a VPN when I'm connected to work.
Of
You know,
course, that's a private, but that's locked.
well, yes, so it's a part
Yeah,
of the connection.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't. I don't normally use one all the time.
But
So
are you going to talk about VPNs this evening, or it's
I
not?
wasn't going to. No.
No. But would you recommend, being a professional, that it is something for your banking and for everything else, that it sort
I
of gives you an extra shield or protection?
I'm not completely convinced. Because they still need to know who you are to send stuff to you. So I not.
And they're a bit, I mean, the places they're based, I looked at because I was recommended to use a VPN about 4 years ago, and I looked up NordVPN, which is one of the biggest, and they're based in Panama. And some of them are based in the Eastern Bloc, and they're based in Cyprus. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think you can run a VPN from Britain, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's actually legal to run a public VPN from Britain.
You can.
Yeah, there are companies that do it.
Yeah.
It actually based in Britain, Jeff, and
Yeah.
therefore regulated.
Yeah. Mike, what were you going to say?
Yeah,
Right.
to say there's lots of them where they are, or certainly they'll have UK exit points, but there are a number of UK companies that run them. So
Yeah.
And would you use them, Mike?
I use them for work, like Chris. I use them. I do use them if I'm in a coffee shop. So if I'm in a Starbucks or whatever, and
Yeah.
using their Wi-Fi. But that's more to stop anyone else that's on the same Wi-Fi point try to hack
Jumping in.
you.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
The only person I know who regularly uses a VPN is my 90-year-old mother.
Ha! Ha!
Uh,
Why?
some reason she got signed up for one. She used it for a year, but half the time, whenever I go around there, I have to switch it off because stuff doesn't work through it. So, yeah.
I've been told for things like flights and cruises and stuff like that, if you come in from a different country, and of course a VPN masks your country, you can get much better deals. Several people have told me that.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
It is.
going way off track. Right. So the worry is from now we know how to hack people. or how to hack a site. The worry is are your details on the dark web? That's the question you need to ask, really, first of all. And there's an easy way to find out. There's a website called Have I Been Pawned? PWNED. At the end of this, I've got a list of resources. I will send the whole set of slides out with the resources so you can click on the links. But Have I Been Pawned allows you to see if your user ID has ever been in any of these really big hacks that are sold on the dark web. So how do you use it? Well, you go to the website and you type in your your email address. This is my email address. There you go. And let's hit check.
This is a free service.
Yep, absolutely free. So my user email's been on 17 hacks. Oh, look, there was a Twitter hack I was in. Gravatar. I didn't even know I used Gravatar, for God's sake. Yeah, there's quite a few. They're going back now. They're quite old, a lot of these. 2019, 2018. 500px, that was hacked.
I hope you check this before you put it up, Chris. It's
I
going to be
think it's
embarrassing.
Well, yeah, there's a fair few of these. Oh, Adobe. Adobe? Yeah, they were hacked as
Yeah,
well.
they were done, weren't they?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Last FM. So yeah, my so if you look back at the data, those the 2012, 2019, things like that, there were times when I was just using the same email address and password for everything. Yeah. And so any one of those hacked basically means every other site that I use that password on is now vulnerable. Right.
Chris, is that telling you that you were hacked by
No,
during last?
my email address and password are in a file that somebody can download off the dark web.
And that's
Yeah.
because of an incident at Last FM in March 2012.
Yeah, they were breached. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've searched the dark web looking for your email address,
Yeah,
basically.
that's what. Well, no, they've downloaded, they've kept all these hacks in their database, and then when you search it, it all tells you where it was found.
Wow. Good service.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of places these days, Chris, username is your email address, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what they're saying. So the email address and password is, and usernames and all of those. So the the upshot of this is that oh, what's happened to me? Go away. You're supposed to go on to the next slide. Next slide. Where's the next slide? There we go. You must, if you want to be secure, you must use a different password for every system. For every different thing you connect to, you must use a different password. All right. All right. Because as hackers, we can get in really, really easily if you use the same user ID and password on one that's been breached. They've all been breached with the same thing. Yeah, because it's simple for somebody. As soon as one of those lists goes on the dark web, it's simple for somebody to hack your stuff.
Chris, does that mean if you used not the same password, but let's just say I used Ho, Ho as in Ho Lane where I live, and Amazon Ho, Netflix Ho, do the criminals be able to look at 4 different passwords and think he's just putting Ho at the end of everything?
No, but you're assuming that any of this is done by humans.
It's all done by algorithm, isn't it?
All done by computers. And I'll show you how to hack in a minute. I will show you how to hack using algorithms. So everybody got that. Everybody understand why we need a different password on every system. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, this is me being doing a bit of intentional camera movement. So this was uh, we went for last year for 2 weeks on the Northumberland coast at Craster, and we had a cottage that just looked out straight onto the sea. And one morning, I was sitting there, and the sun was coming up, and I just went like that. I thought that works. Quite like that. That's, that's a nice, easy shot, and through the patio doors as well, and everything. Um, so okay, so we've all been good. We got different passwords, and that makes it really difficult if we're going to try and hack somebody's password. Um, if we don't know it, yeah. Um, but there are techniques we can use. Don't worry, we can still get in, even if we don't know your password. Where do we start? Well, we can use brute force cracking. All right. Now, oh, come on, you all remember this at school. The school spanner brought his briefcase to school, and it had one of those combination locks on it. And then everybody spent their time working through 001, 002, 003, and up until they could get it open and then nick all the stuff out of their briefcase. Yeah, everybody remembers that. We all did it at school. Or was it just me? Anyway,
That's similar to the way auto dialers work, isn't it?
yeah, similar. Yeah, very similar. Basically, you just start at 001 and work your way through, right? So this is what they call brute force cracking. Is basically you throw every possible password at a system, right? Now that sounds like it will take a long time, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, this is the late. I can see this is going to be a table that I constantly have to update when I do the stuff. But this is how long it takes to hack a password, right? Today, with a nice fast computer, how long would it take me to brute force crack? So if you've got just 4 numbers, right, it's not going to take any time at all, right? If you've got 8 numbers, it's again no time at all. If we get to 8 numbers, numbers upper and lowercase letters and symbols, at the moment it would take 2 years to brute force crack it, right? This is why longer passwords are better. Longer, more complex, the better. Yeah. If you go an 18 character password with numbers upper lowercase letters and so forth, it's 463 quintillion years. Yeah. Which is at the moment. So if the swines have been using really strong passwords, that makes it difficult for us to hack in. Yeah. Fortunately, people quite often use much shorter passwords than that. Going back to the hackers at work, they got in because one year, I mean, this was a few years back now, they got in because our help desk was in the habit of, when you ask for your password to be reset, for setting it to capital P, password 1. And funny enough, the hackers got in with that really, really quick because somebody hadn't changed their password. But the more complex and the more difficult the password is, basically, the better. Yeah, the harder it makes for a hacker to brute force it. So, oh, this is a picture. This is from Chroma.
I was going to say it was
This was,
Chroma.
hey,
I was going to say it was Chroma.
yeah, it's by the side of the pier, and this was one evening in end of February, and I went down there, and the waves were crashing up against by my feet. I'm on a bit of rock, bit of concrete sticking out, and then behind me is the sea wall, and then at one point a huge wave came in, banged off the sea wall, and then down the back of my trousers, right down, right, filled my pants up. Um, and it was snowing at the time. It was really unpleasant experience. Anyway, so the picture was worth it. Um, Back to dictionary, back to brute force cracking. The big advantage we have if we want to crack people's passwords is people tend to use real words. Yeah, people tend to make passwords that they remember. You know, #6 G exclamation mark ampersand Z lowercase p LM is quite hard to remember, but my new password is quite easy. So people tend to make really easy to, or people tend to use real words in passwords. And can we use that as a way of hacking into people? Well, yes, we can. We can use a thing called dictionary cracking. And dictionary cracking is pretty easy, really. Instead of just starting at 00 and going 01, 02, what we do instead, we just take a long list of words, a dictionary, all the words in the English language, for instance, all the commonly used passwords, and stick them into a file. And then we just, again, let a process run that tries to log in. And when it finally gets in, it lets us know. Yeah, and we can leave that running on 50, 100 machines, and see if we can hack into something. So dictionary cracking is pretty easy to do because it's just basically using a list. What should we put in our dictionary? Well, let's start with all the words. All the words in English should do it. And then let's go for some more obvious ones. Keyboard patterns, just running your finger across the keyboard. Surprisingly common passwords. And then we got the common substitutions: @ for A, 5 for S, 0 for O. And why not? Because we've already got lists of passwords that people use from all the various hacks. Why don't we just chuck all those in as well? And we just leave them running against that something. So using common words in your passwords, right, is bad. I'll give you some examples of these. These are the 10 worst passwords you should never use. Number one, in the one is 1234556. Don't even think about using it as a password. Again, password. Maybe they asked for 8 characters, so let's go 123456789. Again, it's just too obvious. Dictionary cracks will pick those up again. QWERTY is the same thing. ABC 123, admin 123, let me in 123. All of these are pretty common and used all the time. Oh, come on. Does anybody use a password of 11111? Probably. I'm surprised by this one. I love you. Apparently, I mean, some people obviously have a much better relationship with their computer than I do, that's for sure. Yeah, admin. That's what I said. Admin is if you want to try and log into something, that's always worth a try. Welcome. Yeah, I'm surprised by that one. A monkey. I've no idea why that one's supposedly popular, but it's really not very strong. But basically, anything that's in the dictionary as a word or as a word with substitutions is open to dictionary hacking. Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
as a developer, what I don't understand, obviously, no one's going to break your password unless they've got it off the dark web in one go.
Yeah.
And on your phone or on many devices, if you put, you get 4 attempts or 7 attempts, and then it just blocks you out completely.
Yeah.
That can't be built into a public website so that if you like a banking website, that if you actually try to access it more than 5 or 10 times, because from what you're saying, and I knew it, and I did know that, they can send a million passwords in a couple of minutes
Yep.
trying to break in. But can it not be built into the system, into a website system, that you get 4 or 5 attempts and then it just closes your account down? You just can't get in at all.
Well, yeah, that'd be great if, say, I wanted to shut Netflix down. I'd just run that against Netflix, and none of their users would be able to get in.
But
All
no,
their
no,
users,
no, no, no.
all
But
the
it would be
I mean,
something.
I've
Sorry.
tried on some sites where they pause. You can't try again in 5 minutes.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
But then all you do is I'll try with Graham's name and one password. I'll try with Jeff's name and the same password. I'll try with Warren's name and another password, and then go back to Graham, back to Jeff, back to Warren. Yeah, there's ways around it. Basically, you can
Oh, I see. So you just log in. You attack. So you attack the site under 1,000 different names.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
you can, and
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Yeah, get
Uh,
it. Get
and
it.
yeah, so it's another way of doing it. I mean, if I know for a fact that there is, I have a list of users, I just don't know their passwords, and I can rotate between them and see how I can get in. So, yeah, this is B-Sans. Does it look calm? This is the middle of a storm. This
A long exposure.
really long exposure, and you can see all the white waters on the rocks. So, yeah, this was a particular fun day. Again, that was actually in the summer, but seems colder than the Chroma one. I don't know why. So, having said that, we can hack passwords using dictionary cracking, or there are common passwords and short passwords are a problem. How do we know our passwords are secure? Well, there's a website where you can test how secure your password is. It's called Password Monster. And if you go on it and you type in your password, it tells you how long it'll take to hack. Right, so password takes 0 seconds to hack. Password 1, still 0 seconds. Exclamation mark, no, that's still 0 seconds. Oh, 2 exclamation mark. Oh, 0.01 of a second. Oh, well, that's really secure. Let's try something. No, okay, that's not going to work. Yeah. Oh, that's a little bit better, but not much. Went through a second. No, it's not ideal. Let's think of something else. Let's just try some random word. Oh, let's try some random words. Yeah. Yeah, Holland. Okay, 3 seconds. Oh no, 0.2 a second. Did you spot that? Holland trousers. Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, Holland trousers lobster sausage. That's 121 years. Let's bunk some extra characters in. Maybe an exclamation mark at the end. 485 years. One at the beginning. 19 centuries. Now we have a secure password. Yeah. Yeah. Did you notice when it typed in Holland, HOLLAN, right, was moderately hard for it to crack. As soon as I put the D on there, it became instantly easy to crack. That's because it's dictionary cracking and it's a word in a dictionary. But using a set of random words together is a great way to create a password. Now, don't use a phrase. So don't use, I don't know. I can't. I had a phrase in my mind and it's gone. I don't know. No one would have believed. Yeah. You don't use a proper English phrase, but use random words stuck together. That can make a very strong password if you need to remember your passwords.
And I take it the keychain generated passwords of just 16 different digits, lower and upper case, is almost impossible from the grid you showed.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about that. We'll come on to that. So the only trouble is once you start getting to really complicated passwords, I ain't gonna remember all that. Yeah. These are what are we rating? It's not bad for a phone shot, is it? Um that was taken up at Cop Tool one morning. Um anyway, so yeah, complicated passwords by their very nature are easy for computers to deal with, really hard for us to deal with. Um, so what can we do? Well, my recommendation is that you use a password manager. Um, there are various ones of these about. I'm going to talk about the one that I use, which is Bitwarden. But what's the Apple one called? Key
No, it's
Keychain?
now called passwords. It used to be called keychain.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Uh, so there are various ones of these around. They all kind of do the same thing. Um, some are free, some you pay for, some are commercial, some you can host on your own servers if you're into all that. Um, but um, what a password manager means is that you um, only ever really need to know one password, and that's the password to your password manager. Um, so in order to demonstrate this, I went to a site that I've never been to before, Dailymotion, because I needed something to set this up on. And I just thought I'd show you what it's like to log in using a password manager. So you just click in, log in. Well, that one's already filled in for me, but I'm going to go out to Bitwarden, and in Bitwarden, it realizes I'm on Dailymotion. It knows I've got the password. I can press the copy button there, and then or copy the website and go to it that way. And then I just paste that in the password box and log in. And that's it. Now you can kind of do the same thing. Most browsers will save your passwords, user IDs and passwords. I'm told storing it in the browser is not that secure. I tend to do both because I'm lazy. But the main thing is that I don't know what that password is. I just logged in without ever seeing that password, without ever typing it. How do I set that up? Well, previously, when I went to Dailymotion, I decided to sign up for it. And first I went to Bitwarden. Oh, am I on the right one? No, I'm on the tab. Okay, the next one. That's it. Here we go. Oh, so you got it right there. That's it. So yeah, I went to Dailymotion. I decided to sign up, put in my details. I never put my real date of birth. I always use the same fake one. Oh, am I really that old? No, no, let's not be that old. Let's be that old. And uh, then basically just need to put your email address in, obviously, like you do when you register for any site. And what we do at this point is instead of just typing the stuff in, we create a new login in Bitwarden. It recognizes we're on that site. We put in the password, and then we ask it to generate a password. And there are two options with generating a password. You can either have a password, which you see as I'm rotating there, and I can pick different ones, or a passphrase. Right, passphrases can set of random words. When to use which? I would use a passphrase for something you are likely to have to type in, like your Netflix password, and a random password for something you can just paste in, like your Dailymotion one. So Dailymotion is there. I can fill that in. My new generated password, I'm going to paste that in. Oh, it doesn't like that. It's got to be numeric. Oh God, right. Okay, so go back. Let's go back to Bitwarden. Generate a new password. So let's edit this. Go down here. Generate a password. Come on. Let's try a password there with random characters. And you can see underneath you can choose whether to include upper, lower, zeros, ones, depending on whatever they tell you that you must have. You copy it, and again, you paste it back in, and you sign up. So press sign up. There we go. So that's all there is to using a password manager. Basically, you set it out when you log in. You use it to generate the password, and you never know what that password is.
Chris,
Yes.
are you saying then that when in Google comes up with the little square save password, are you
Yes.
saying that's not a good idea?
No, I'm saying that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that you shouldn't be typing in the password yourself. You should be using something to randomly generate it, which is what a password manager will do for you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and it does it all in one little measure.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could go to a website that generates random passwords, get a random password, paste it in, and then ask Google to store it. The advantage of a password manager is, so I'll talk about Bitwarden again. Bitwarden sets it up in the cloud, which means that I can then use those passwords from my phone or my work computer or my home computer, as long as I can get into Bitwarden and log in with my long secure password, then I can use it wherever I am. If you store it in your browser, quite often you can only use it on that machine.
Yeah. So I could then get rid of all these.
Definitely. And you should replace them with ones that are that are completely randomly generated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chris, would you? Oh, sorry.
Sure.
yeah. No, I was going to say they are fairly random.
I mean, Firefox has got a random generator, and that will store it on the cloud. Probably makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, so all of these, I mean, they do it. The only trouble again with, say, something like Firefox is that if you then need to reuse it for an app, you can't always use it for the apps as well.
Well, if you use Firefox across all your devices.
No, but even then, so say you're actually using the NHS app, for instance, you need a password there. Yeah, you can't use it on the app. You can use it in the browser, but not the app. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
yeah. So that's why I've found that a separate password manager works better, because you can use it everywhere to fill in on apps, on your phone, or programs on your PC, everything.
Chris, would you use this for financial as well, or you would do a different system for your banking? I mean, personally.
I use this for my banking. Yeah.
So Bitwarden's never been hacked, I take it.
So I don't know if it's ever been hacked, but you've got layers of security, yeah.
Which you're going to go into, obviously.
Well, no, you're the stuff is encrypted with your key, yeah. So unless somebody has your key, they won't be able to unencrypt the stuff anyway. So they might be able to get into the Bitwarden site, but they wouldn't be able to get your stuff because it's encrypted with your key. So they're better. So as long as your password is really, really long, it makes life difficult.
So it's like a pass key that Amazon now use.
No, I'm just saying your login key, your login password. So my login password for Bitwarden is 48 characters long.
What,
right.
You've got to type that in every time you use it? No.
Yes.
Well, hasn't it got face recognition?
No.
Sorry, so every time you want to generate a password, you've got to type in.
Well, once I've logged in from a machine, I'm putting my password in. Yeah. It's only 48 characters.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't have to do that very often, I hope.
Well, it's like
he's got it written on a piece of paper under his keyboard.
It's
that's the point, Jeff. 48. It's. I mean, 48.
I didn't say 48 random characters.
Right.
Yeah. It's only a sentence. Yeah, it's only like typing a sentence.
So how often when you switch your laptop on would you then need to use
that?
Well,
once I have the web browser, yeah.
Yeah.
I type the password in, and then it stays there.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or when I restart my phone, I go in and it uses that. But then with the
Right.
phone, I've got it set for my thumbprint. I should have the computer set for the thumbprint, but it's folded up and I can't get my hand there. So how do you set up a password manager? You go on to bitwarden.com, set up an account, and then install it. I have included a video on the links on how to do this completely, but this is me just setting it up for fun and games, really. I just went to the Bitwarden site, set the personal one up, and let's go for the free one because we like free. It's one of my favorite prices. And used a spare email address I've got, and let's use the EU one rather than the American one. Don't think it matters, to be honest. And whether we want to get advice or announcements and stuff like that. And then left mouse click and sign up. So then what happens is you get an email allowing you to continue the setup. We wander off to my emails, which I think I couldn't find at this point. Where is it? There, somewhere. No, it's down here somewhere. So there's definitely email somewhere. There we go. There's my email. Okay. Verify your email. Yeah. And I click that. So it now knows that my email address is pretty valid. And then I select a master password. And this is this 48 character password that I set up. Now, how do we come up with a long, decent password? Well, 4 or 5 random words banged together with maybe an exclamation mark on the end will do. See, I'm trying to find one that's pretty good. That'll do. And then again, there's a little eye symbol on each of these password boxes, which means you can actually view the password as you type it in. And then you can give yourself a hint in case you're likely to forget it. Don't put the password there. You just put something helpful. And then create an account. That's it. And we don't save the password in a browser because that would defeat the point. And that is literally the simplest way to set yourself up. Yeah. That's all you need to do. And you've got your vault. You can then install it into your browser, which is really easy to do. But that's all there is to do with setting up a password manager. And you saw how to actually use one previously. So it's pretty much all there is to it.
Can I ask a question, Chris?
Yes, go.
I'm a bit confused about don't save it to your browser because that defeats the object.
Oh yes, so if
where does that get saved then?
Right, so okay, so we have created for our one password to everything. Yeah, is let's say it's our lobster, trousers, banana, exclamation mark, hamster, right? That's our password, right? Yeah, we've created that. We don't save it anywhere on the web, right? What we do is we write it on a piece of paper and store it on, right? And you can just put it in a cupboard, right? Because I'll tell you what, there are almost certainly no hackers in your cupboards, right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. And the way we've got it set up here, me and the wife, we've both got LastPass, and our master passwords are on a list of stuff that we have stored, are marked for in event of our death. And if you need to get the password, you can get each other's passwords that way. And it's also got all our bank account details and everything. her life insurance. Quite frankly, she's worth knocking off, to be honest. And
We've never
so
seen it. You might have knocked her off, Chris.
yeah, I could have done. I would have done.
Yeah.
Well, that's Heather's thing. She's um, and yeah. So that's you're going to be using this password a lot. You're going to be using this password pretty much every day. So you need something that's fairly easy, a set of random words that you can keep. Now it's really hard. Humans are really, really hard. Really find it randomness really, really difficult. Yeah. So I have a recommendation for that. But here we go. Dunstanburg. Not bad for a phone shop. If you need a set of random words, then one of the things you can use is a piece of software, a website called Diceware. And all you do with Diceware is you say how many words you want. We're going to say with 4, and we click roll the dice. And it just generates, it's just a bit of fun, really. Just generates our passphrase, right? So, Judy motocross brewery expenses. Now, you might want to put that in a different order or change one of the words or add an exclamation mark to make it easy to understand. But our master password, yeah, could easily be that. And that's really hard to hack. Yeah. If we had a space or an exclamation mark. So my master password has spaces between the words. That makes it really hard because they don't allow for that. Yeah, spaces between the words, exclamation marks, ampersands, all sorts of extra characters you can bung in there to make it more difficult. And you can always test it on Password Monster. But that will give you your master password for your Bitwarden or whatever you're going to use.
So
What-
you're saying that you can have a space between the words.
I say this very carefully. I'll say this very carefully. Bitwarden allows you to have a space between the words, right? And on its passwords. A lot of sites don't, right?
Right. But
Some sites do some really strange things. Yeah. Sometimes they won't let you put special characters in, some special characters. And I used one not that long ago that said the password had to be 8 characters, not maximum 8 characters, 8 characters. Right. So it literally had to be 8 characters. If it was 7 or 9, it wasn't valid, which struck me as bizarre. So right. So I think that's probably going to be the end of part 1. Any
Like-
questions? Any questions on password strength? Password
I think-
managers?
Yes,
Right,
sorry,
yeah.
Chris. Yeah, I
Yeah, go on.
was just going to say, I think a lot of us are going to be very busy tomorrow.
Well, keep you busy. Yeah, give you something to think about.
Mm.
Yeah.
Chris,
Couple of
did you-
questions, Chris.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Couple of questions.
Yeah.
The first one is Bitwarden.
Yeah.
What is the cost of that? Because they don't do these things for free, do they?
It is free. Yeah, it's free.
Is it free? That's
Yeah.
unusual.
So you saw when I set it up, I picked the free level. Now the free level gives you enough for personal use, and you can create one what they call organization. So me and my wife are in the same organization, right? Which means that the gas bulb password and the electricity bulb passwords are shared between us because we put it in the organization to share between us. So you don't have to keep telling each other the password. You just put it in the organization, you share it between 2 of you. If you want more than one organization, because I thought, we could have one for the club, then you have to start paying. Yeah, for like the committee passwords and things like that, I realized you have to start paying for that. So, but at its very basic level, and for the level that I use it at, so that's me, all my passwords, and sharing stuff with my wife, it's free.
Next question.
Yep.
If you find that you, when you go looking and you find onto this "Have I been pawned" website, if you find you are there, are you able to delete yourself, or is that
No. So that what that means is out there somewhere is Malcolm, in your email address, and the password you used on that site at that time, right? So if it was the Adobe hack, if you change your Adobe password after that, then it's not in that list. Yeah, that's all it's showing is that somebody has managed to get onto their systems and download the whole lot.
Yeah, I regularly get emails asking me if I want to date Ukrainian women.
To be fair, I mean, I just thought it
Hey,
was 'cause
yes, Malcolm.
yeah, I was going to say I thought it was because I'm a fanny magnet, but I mean,
Doesn't matter how many times I put them into the junk folder and don't send them again, they do.
yeah, well, they can't resist you, Malcolm. That's what it is.
Chris, did you say that you use LastPass as well as Bitwarden, or did I misunderstand?
I used to use LastPass. It
Used to.
used to be really good, and then they started cranking the price of it up. I think it went from I think it was like £12 a year to something like £60 a year, um, which is a lot. Well, it's just the principle of the thing. When you can use Bitwarden for nothing, why would you use LastPass? Especially as
Yeah.
LastPass has been hacked as well. So yeah.
The other thing is about VPNs. If ever I tried it once, and it meant that every site I went onto after that, I had to verify who I was, and it took a long time. In the end, I found by
Wasn't worth
changing
the
the
effort.
VPN, they didn't know who I was.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably didn't. Okay. So let's have 10 minutes break and back at 9 o'clock. Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
we've all worked out that we need to use a password manager of some sort. We need to use completely random long passwords. We've made it really difficult to be hacked. So what are the options? How can we start hacking people who are using good passwords? Well, let's look back at this brute force malarkey. Yeah. If we look at 8 characters with upper lowercase numbers and symbols, that takes 164 years. Yeah. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I'm not sure it works, but
Yeah. Okay.
that will take 164 years. Right. So we're pretty secure. Not necessarily, because if I use 164 computers, I can get that down to a year. If I use 164,000 computers, that's going to go really, really quickly. Yeah. I can use multiple computers. So what is a botnet? Well, a botnet is a set of computers that have been turned into bots, right? What does that mean? Well, basically it means that at some point you've installed a bit of software on your machine that allows me to control it, or allows my software to control it and take control of it. Now, some of the botnets that are out there have been known to consist of over 1 million computers. And that's basically where people have downloaded hack software or a virus of some sort. They've got no idea their computer in its spare time is being used to hack passwords and hack into banks and all sorts of things, because it's all part of this botnet. All they know is that every now and then their computer goes a bit slower than it probably should do. Yeah. So malware is a bit of a nightmare for this sort of stuff. So having said that, we've got this password that, can take a hell of a long time to crack. They're still not, passwords really aren't a hugely secure way to secure something on their own. Yeah. Because it is just a matter of time and money, time and energy before I can crack your password. So we really need to use something a bit more secure than just a password. And that's where two-factor authentication comes in. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it these days. But what happens? Well, basically, when you try to log in, once you've logged in with your user ID and password, it then asks you to confirm something, say on your phone or on a text or something like that, or in an email, and then it grants you access. That's all two-factor authentication does. It means that there's more than one factor, i.e. there's more than just your password. There is also your phone and the authentication app on it or whatever else. Give you an example. This is me setting up two-factor authentication on EE. Oh, let's secure my account. And they just sent me a passcode to my email address to make sure that's me. And I type the number in and I'm in. And I put my mobile number in. And it sends me a code. That appears on my phone. And I type that number in. And we're all set up. That's all there is to doing setting up two-factor authentication. And it's all the same for virtually all these systems. You just go in and say, I want to set up, it says it'll usually use something like two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, or do you want to make your password more secure or something like that? You should ideally always enable two-factor authentication for anything that you value. Yeah. So like my Amazon account has got it, my Bitwarden has got it, and my Google account has got two-factor authentication. And just about everything I use at work has two-factor authentication now. And it drives me out the wall because I'm forever typing numbers into my phone. So I don't know why it does that. It should have strong the next one. So we've made ourselves more secure now. To be honest, this is the very minimum you need in the modern world. Yeah, you need different passwords for each system. You need strong passwords, and the only way you're really going to keep strong passwords is to use some sort of password manager. Yeah, writing it down, making it up. You're going to start using real words and things that make it easy to hack. So you want something that generates random passwords for you and keeps track of them all, because you need hundreds of passwords these days. Every site needs a password. And where possible, install multi-factor authentication as well. Any questions about that lot?
How do you find out if you've been this botted on your system?
So you would need to run a antivirus scan. If you are running a reasonable version of Windows, so probably 11 now, you should have Windows Defender built in. It will be scanning for it and should find that at some point. If not, you can buy or trial a third-party virus scanner and see, like Semantic or something like that, and see if that can find stuff. But it's almost certainly comes up as a virus or something like that. Yeah, because that's basically what viruses are trying to do, or a lot of viruses are trying to do. They're trying to install a bot on your machine. Okay,
Can I ask a question, Chris?
sure.
And you may be coming on to this, but I've saved bank accounts.
Yeah,
On my phone, I have got either fingerprints or eye identification or facial
yeah,
recognition. Whereas on my computer, I still use the old-fashioned passwords, and it might be multi-factor authentication, but can I, in some, or is there a weakness that I'm using a different sort of access between my phone and my computer? Is there a problem there?
not really, no.
Right,
Yeah, I don't think shouldn't really be a problem.
right, okay.
I think the main thing with the phone is because they've got fingerprint readers and facial recognition, they just make it easier. Although my PC's got facial recognition as well and a fingerprint reader, so it's not much different. So,
Right.
so one of the passwords at the end of the day, pretty much across the industry, it's accepted that passwords aren't a great thing. Yeah. So there's a move away from passwords where possible. And one of the possible solution is a thing called passkeys. And what a passkey does is basically to set up a passkey, you go onto your account and you just, when you log in, it asks your computer for a file, which is a passkey file that it's already sent you. Yeah. So when you set it up, basically, to log in from this one device, my phone, yeah. When I connect it and set up a passkey, it will put a passkey on this machine, on this computer, which says this is Chris's phone, yeah, and I only live on Chris's phone. So if you try and use that passkey from somewhere else, it won't work. It will only work from this phone, which means it's much, much more secure. Because any hacker can get hold of that passkey, but it won't work unless it's on my particular phone and unlocked with my fingerprint or my PIN number and my facial recognition. Yeah. So passkeys really limit down the vector of attack because you can only get on with the passkey from a particular location or from a particular machine. So there's a lot of push towards using passkeys, and you will see them more often. What I would say is try them out, see how you get on with them, see how you understand, and they seem to work pretty well for all the stuff I've used them with. So yeah, I think passkeys are probably the way forward, but we shall see.
And you can only use a passkey, Chris, if the website or the company you're trading with instigates a passkey system, obviously.
Yeah, so what happens is they send you the passkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, their system has to understand passkeys, and they send you the passkey, and then when you try to log in again, it says, "Have you got your key? Have you got your key? Did you remember?" And then it reads it, and then it logs in. Yeah.
Chris,
And how good is sorry, Joe, how good is facial recognition as a security or as a firewall?
I think it's a lot better now. I wouldn't like to say how great it was because I know initially with the Apple stuff you could get away with taking a photo of somebody and showing them a photo of your screen. But I think now it uses like LiDAR scanning to make
Yeah.
sure your face.
Yeah.
I know if I pull a face, it doesn't always recognise. It won't recognise it, So that's so it's obviously improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't remember how I set my Windows facial recognition up. I think I was wearing a particular pair of glasses at a certain distance, and anything else wasn't bloody work. So yeah.
Chris, going back
Yeah.
to passkeys,
Yes.
you need an app on your phone though, don't you?
No, not necessarily.
No, because I say every time I try to log into Virgin Media, it says
Yeah.
use the passkey. Show me the app that you've got it on your phone or something.
Yeah, it depends on how they implement it, but basically, that sound yeah, they can put a pass key on. They put a pass key on onto your machine, and they just look for it every time they go on. Yeah, it depends on. There's not a standard way to implement it, as far as I'm aware yet. So different companies are playing around with different ideas.
But
I
Chris,
just I
oh,
just
sorry.
wanted to bring them up, not to confuse anybody, but to say that they're not a bad thing, that they are actually much more secure than user IDs and passwords, so they may well be a good way to do things.
With facial recognition, my bank's just brought in facial recognition.
Yeah.
Am I correct in assuming if I just punched in the password, it would still let me in? Or once you've instigated or initiated facial recognition, you have to use that as well?
I would say probably you have to use that as well. If you've said I only let me in if my face turns up, then the answer is they will only let you in if your face turns up or you use the security overrides.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the trouble with this is there's human factors. People forget passwords and IDs and stuff like that. So there's always usually a way round the password, but it may involve you 4 hours on a call center in Bangalore proving who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or talking to
So
an AI.
with the facial recognition, how critical is, because what I'm thinking is, say you've got an absolutely stonking cold, your nose is all red and your eyes are streaming, will it let you in?
Sometimes. Sometimes not.
Works very well. It
Depends
does
if
work
it's
yeah.
very
good
well.
or not.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it works reasonably well on my phone. Yeah, it works most of the time. If it doesn't work in the dark,
Uh,
so you've got an
Does.
override. You
Mine
can,
does.
yeah, mine does. But
Yeah.
if you close your eyes, it won't work.
Yeah, and
No, but even
it
if you've
comes
got a
up
face
as
mask,
facial not recognised. Please enter passcode.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
yeah, which is the problem, isn't it? Yeah, face what not recognised, present the passcode, and then you're back into where Chris started this whole thing from.
yeah, yeah. So but then you've got a PIN number as well for your phone, so you can use the PIN number instead.
Yeah.
There are various ways around it.
Yeah.
And with an iPhone, you can use a face mask. You can actually set it up so, not like COVID or infection, you can actually use a face mask, like half a mask, and it will still recognise you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
know.
it's
I know. I know. With my Barclays app, every so often it says you used your face recognition so many times. Put in your PIN number.
yeah. That because they work on the principle that they're constantly trying to make sure everything's up to date. Right, moving on. Here's a shot from last week.
No,
Yeah.
No, there's a prize to anybody who can actually spot what that is. There
Blank.
is
Oh.
actually
It's
something
blank.
down the bottom.
no right in the middle, right in the middle of the picture is something.
Something in fog.
Yeah. Okay.
Fog in
The
fog.
So,
yacht?
It's a
No.
castle in the fog.
Well done, Alan. So we were staying last week in Corfe Castle, and the first morning I got up and I thought, oh, fog, brilliant! I can go and do the classic Corfe Castle poking out of the fog shot. So got to the hill, ran up the hill behind, set up, and it was so foggy that for a long time I didn't even know where the castle was. Right. I was actually looking in the wrong direction, looking like about 10 degrees off to where the castle actually was. And eventually I managed to see the shape through. So it wasn't that successful. After 3/4 of an hour, another lady photographer wandered past and she just went to me, I'm going home. So, yeah. But perseverance sometimes pays off because 2 days later I went up there and I got that.
Oh, beautiful.
Which is really lovely bit of light. At the bottom, I met a woman walking her dog, and she went, "Oh, did you get the light? The 10 minutes when the light lit up the side of the castle? It was beautiful." Oh, yes, I did. Thank you. Right. So, where do we go from here? everybody's using a password manager. Their passwords are secure. It makes it really, really difficult to nick their stuff. Why not nick their phone? Because they got phone recognition, PIN numbers or stuff like that. Maybe just nick that and get in there. So how can we prevent people from using our phones, which basically our lives are on these days? How can we keep them safe? Well, make sure you always let it update. Don't switch off updates, because the reason most of the time companies are sending out updates is to fix security issues. Make sure you've got fingerprint unlock, face unlock set up, as well as your PIN number. Use that to make sure your phone isn't easily accessible by someone. Another thing that's worth doing while you're there, while I think about it, and I forgot to put this on the slide, is setting up your emergency contacts. All the modern Androids have it, and I assume the iPhones have it as well.
Yep.
You can go in and set up your in event of emergency, contact this person. And what happens is, even though the phone is locked, if somebody hits the power button 5 or 6 times in rapid succession, it will show you the emergency contact, and you can call the emergency contact on there. Right? That's helpful if you're in an accident or something like that. But it was really helpful for me the time I dropped my phone coming out of Loughton Station, and somebody found it, and they did that, and got my phone back in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah, that was, I mean, I didn't even know it did that. But yeah, so rapid pressing the buttons will cause your phone to call your emergency.
The iPhone will actually set an alarm going, and
Yeah.
they'll call emergency services.
Yes, yeah. So if you, I think so. This does it as well. It's
So
it will
which button do you press lots of times?
the power button about 8 or 9 times, I believe,
Right.
rapidly, and it should then do it. The trouble is, when it's your phone, if you've got face unlock, you try and do it, it keeps unlocking. But if it's somebody else's phone, you can just rapidly press it, and it will unlock.
Chris, is that on your phone? Is that on your phone that is called ICE?
ICE. Well, ICE is just setting that as a contact. I think you have to go into the actual settings, emergency contacts, and put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, like all these things, it depend on the age of your phone or the date of the phone, but it's an interesting one to keep track of. Other things to do on your phone, obviously MFA on all your online accounts, because your iCloud, your Google account, stuff gets copied up to there all the time. You need to make sure those are very secure. So put your 2-factor authentication on them. Enable the service that allows you to find your lost phone. That's really useful. Especially if you lose your phone by accident, you might be able to find it before somebody else nicks it. Also, you can see where it is. This one's quite critical. You can set the level of the notifications that appear on your lock screen. Right. So even though the phone is locked, some messages will appear. Like, I don't know if you can see. There's a message that's appeared, but it doesn't actually show. Doesn't actually, so it just says that I've got a WhatsApp message. It doesn't actually show any of the contents. Now, it is possible to have it set so that it does show the contents of the message. This is bad, right? This is bad because if I've got your phone and I'm trying to hack your accounts, right, and they send a message to your phone saying, here's the PIN number to type in, I will be able to see it. Yeah, if it's showing that on the lock screen. Yeah, so there's Android has it on 3 settings, which is no notifications, public, or all, or just keep it private. and it's the keep it private one. So which will give you this, where you can see you can see I've got a notification, but you can't really see what it actually says.
Yeah.
So that's one to check.
I've ju-
You'll know if you look at your phone, to be honest.
yeah, I've just done that because I was watching. It was the financial guru that because he just
Martin Lewis.
he just put out a thing on the get everybody to do that. So all your financial details, PIN numbers and stuff don't come through on your bank
Yeah,
on the front screen.
Yeah, it totally defeats the point if you've made your PIN numbers that they send you public.
Mine always were.
Yeah. So, yeah, all your data, so much on your phone, contacts, phone numbers, everything. Yeah. It amazes me when I hear people say, "I've lost my phone and I've lost all my contacts and I lost everything." Yeah. By default now, these things will upload everything to the cloud, to your iCloud account or to your Google account. Let it do it. Yeah. Because the chances of you losing your phone are pretty high. The chances of you losing your phone and Google going bust at the same time are pretty low. Yeah. So that's why I would. And also, when you do that, if you then get a new phone, you just put your account in and it just builds the phone. It's much better. Set locked.
I assume you can back up to your computer as well. You've
you can. It's a bit of faffing about. It's probably easier just to. I know, like Google and Apple, they do like to try and lure you in and try and make you buy more. But you can set it up to. It's photos and videos that will take up the space on your iCloud or Google, and so you either manage those or just pay extra to have those backed up as well.
Right.
But everything else, I mean, I normally have mine set. I gave in recently and actually bought some space, but I used to have mine set so as it didn't back up the photos, but did everything else. Yeah, but you want to back up of your phone somehow, yes, because it's amazing what's on there. And set a lock time. So don't have your phone so as it stays open for long periods of time. I think mine's after a minute or of inactivity, it will lock 30 seconds, whatever works for you, but I wouldn't go more than about 5 minutes, because in that 5 minutes somebody could swipe your phone and get in as you. And pretty much as we've seen with two-factor authentication and everything, once I've got access to your phone, I'm in and I can get access to pretty much everything you do and find out everything about you. And careful of what the apps you use. So when you install an app, so maybe, I don't know, a little app that gives you a torch on your phone or a compass on your phone. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've got a compass. Well, that's good. And then it asks you, can I have access to all your contacts? Why does a compass need access to all your contacts? So both Google and Apple try to monitor the apps on their app store, but don't give apps more permissions than you think they need. It's pretty obvious that a program that needs to use your camera that takes photos is going to need to use your camera. It's not so obvious that a program that takes photos is going to need access to your contacts or whatever else. So be careful. I mean, most of the time use an app that you've heard of. And if it's a new dodgy one a new one you're trying off the app store, just don't let it do too much. So that's keeping your phone safe.
Chris, can I just add two physical things?
Yeah.
Because obviously, from everything you've said, it's quite evident that people want to grab your phone while it's on.
Yes.
So forget losing it, grabbing phones, of course. It's got so bad that I know the city police recently, that Paul used to be in, actually in the summer set up desks in the street so that so they could actually sort of mark people's phones. But two tricks I've learned, and I used to teach people self-defense and things, is you can tether the phone to your wrist. So if you are going to use it in a public place, you can tether it. You can actually put a wrist strap on. You can get them on Amazon, and they fit into the sort of bottom of the phone. It might put somebody off. And if you're going to use the phone, to talk to somebody in the street, stand in a doorway, because the amount of people on scooters, bikes. I was with a business partner walking down the street, and somebody went between us on a bike and actually grabbed the phone out of his hand. He was showing me something, and it was a nightmare to actually, because he didn't have his password, and it was a nightmare to actually stop the guy, accessing a lot of financial information or whoever it was that took the phone. So don't just walk along the street like this talking on your phone. So you may be able to do that in Bishop Stortford, but for God's sake, don't do it in central London.
I mean, if you look at a new phone, you're holding in your hand £1,000 worth of hardware.
And plus, and
Yeah,
that can be
plus
absolutely.
access to thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds worth of
Yeah.
stuff.
So just stand in a doorway or say to somebody, I'll ring you back when I'm in a safe place. And the amount of people you see walking along the street with their phone out like this in front of them, using navigation and walking.
Yeah.
I mean, you are asking for anyone just to walk across you or to bump into your back, bang, the phone's gone and it's live.
Yeah.
And as you would tell us, that's the worst thing of all.
Worst thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Warren. That's good advice. I might add that if we do this again. Right. A new picture. This is Holywell Bay in Cornwall, and I was out there, and there were loads and loads of people there, and then the rain came down. It hammered down, and it was just left with me on the beach, and then the sun came out again, and then the rain came down a second time. Um, I'm standing there, and the rain's hammering, absolutely hammering down, and I just saw this little figure wander across the beach. And it was she was wearing a green jacket, and she had a tripod in her hand and a rucksack on her back, and she came walking all the way over to me, and she just said, "Us photographers are the only idiots who'd be out in this, aren't we?" Yeah, but as the rain stopped, we got some amazing light that particular day. Anyway. So, okay, if your passwords are secure and something like that, what can we next do in a way to get them? Well, we can go fishing, and that's fishing with a PH. Basically, they send you a dodgy email. The email has a link on it. You click on the link. The link cons you into putting in some of your details. And then they can use that to be you. Yeah. It's relatively simple, but basically they'll send you a link to, I don't know, Facebook. You click on it, but it doesn't go to Facebook. It goes to Okie Dokie Facebook, or Facebook spelt with an X in there somewhere. And you don't notice, but it looks exactly the same as what you used to. You type in your login ID and password, and they've collected it from you. So that's basically how phishing works. There are a few ways to spot sort of phishing mails. Mails you're not expecting. That's quite hard because we get a lot of mails these days, but you get anything that seems remotely strange. Why are Facebook asking me to confirm my age? I've been on there for 20 years, things like that. You kind of have to think about it. Generally, companies are quite good about using your name and personalizing the email to you. So if it says "Dear customer" or "Dear Facebook user," then there's a fair chance that it's not a genuine mail. So if you hover over the link on a web browser or in your email, or you hold it down with your thumb on your phone, it will show you the address it's going to. Right now, if I get an email from Facebook, I expect the link to come from www.facebook.com or facebook.com/whatever. Right. I do not expect it to come from Brian Snodgrass Printing Limited. Yeah. Uh, it's just right. So if you look at the address, if it looks dodgy, just don't go near it. Worst case, I mean, things like you'll get things like say, "Oh, change your PayPal account," right? And instead of just going on to clicking on the link, if they want you to change the password, forget about that email. Go to PayPal directly. Go to it from the app or from the website. Yeah, forget about what the email and see if you need to change your password in the app or the part thing. Yeah, if they need you to change your password, it will show on their website. It won't need you to go via the email. So that gives you an extra layer of security. Yeah, so there's things like urgent language, poor grammar. That's less of a good sign these days, because a lot of them are using AI to write their phishing mails. We have a policy at work now that basically they send us every few days, in amongst all the other mails we get, some are phishing mails, and they are sent by our IT to our IS team, information security team, in order to see whether people report them as phishing. Yeah. So we're constantly up to speed, and you get into this habit of after a while you look at an email and think, yeah, hang on a sec, I never asked for my password to be reset, or I never. Why is somebody giving me access to something that I haven't asked for? Yeah, and so just sort of before you click on that link, think about it.
Chris,
Yes.
but the websites, what I have noticed, they're using invisible characters after the URL. It may actually say
Yes.
facebook.com and be blank afterwards, but there's invisible characters underneath it. So holding the link down will give you the full.
Yeah,
full
we actually
address.
show you the real address to where it's
Yeah,
going to, as opposed to where, yeah, it will say, yeah, don't, yeah, that's a good point. I've not seen that, but yeah, I can see that seems pretty easy to do.
So you hold what down?
You just on
Hover-
on the link, you either hover your mouse over it if you're on a PC, or if you're on your phone, you just hold your thumb over it and it will pop up where it's going without going there. Yeah,
Right.
you try it.
There is also another one which is very, I would say, very hard to detect, but you can get it with um Cyrillic characters in it.
Yeah.
So although they look virtually the same, I think it's an A and there's something else that are very slightly different. But yeah, as I say, it looks almost normal, and they're very, very
Looks almost the same, but the O's got two little dots over the top of it or something like that. Yeah.
exactly, but they're
Yeah.
very hard to spot.
Yeah. So, and like I say, worst case, if it seems even remotely dodgy, go direct to the website. Don't go by the link to PayPal.com. Come out of that and go in manually. So spotting a fake website, and we go to. We're just talking about checking the domain name closely. Make sure it's got a padlock. So the padlock symbol that we've all sort of come to trust to say whether it's a secure website, which the H2 website doesn't have. Previous conversation. This padlock not only says this is encrypted, but it actually says that the people who provided the address have an idea that this address is valid. Yeah. So if you go to Microsoft.com and the little padlock appears next to it, there's a pretty good chance that that is owned by Microsoft. Yeah. Whereas if you go to microsift.com, and there's no padlock, it may look like the Microsoft site, but it's not. There are website checkers and safe browsing tools. I didn't bother looking at that. Oh, um, and then there's just the general advice of if there's stuff seems too good to be true. Like I was trying to buy some Christmas presents last week, and I did a price comparison, and all this thing, those shoes, and they come out at 120 quid for everybody, apart from one site that was doing them for 85 quid. All right. And so if you're doing it for 85 quid, and you then go on, and if you search for reviews of it and things like that, then that will give you an idea what's going on.
Another one
Yeah,
on price comparison sites is
yeah.
some of them will look really cheap, but that's because they're reconditioned items.
Ah, yes, yeah. It's always good to check all of these things. Okay. Right. There's one from next door to Chroma. Just a sunset, really. Nothing exciting there. Oh, but that white blob on the horizon's a boat. So where are we up to? Yeah, so the fish aren't biting, so let's try installing something. So we're back to what I was talking about with botnets. People really want you to install sorts of dodgy software on your machine if they can. Um, and the best way to avoid this is just not to install dodgy software, not to click on links. If it says you must download this now to fix your virus that we've just found on your computer, don't. Yeah. Find that on a lot of websites. So they'll go, yeah, oh, virus detected. Click here to remove it and things like that. Just don't back out. Close the browser down. Give up. Whatever will do it. But you really don't want to install any of those. Okay. All right. A particular type of this software is ransomware, and you'll hear this used. The NHS was hit by a ransomware attack a few years back. What ransomware does is it quietly installs onto your machine, and then it encrypts your computer. Yeah, so it basically makes all of your data unreadable, unless you pay the person who's created the software some money. And you'd have to pay them some money via Bitcoin or some other non-tradable way of paying them. Um, uh, the problem with this is obviously it's bad because you have to pay them lots of money, and otherwise your computers can't work. Um, the other problem is that there's no guarantee that even the paying them the money will lead to your stuff being decrypted. You know, so really, you really want to avoid being a victim of a ransomware attack, and you avoid that by avoiding viruses and all sorts of nasties like that we just talked about. So, moving on. This is Nuki. You remember the night when we were doing the club meet and I had to frantically come on to switch the recording off before upsetting the speaker at the time because I had to do it through my phone. That was this particular evening. It looks reasonably calm. It was absolute gale lashing the side. And I'm on this side of the peninsula because the other side I couldn't stand up. And this side I was underneath a ridge and it was just howling gale. Anyway, so that's Nuki for you. Um, So, okay, so we've tried password hacking, we tried nicking their phone, we tried all sorts of things, but not getting anywhere. So let's get onto social media. Maybe this will help us. I'll let you read those. So I'll let you have the notes afterwards as well. It's pretty much make sure you keep your privacy settings locked down. And basically, when people ask for friend requests, make sure that they are people you know or seem likely to know, or friends of friends that you seem likely to know. I signed up to Blue Sky when it sort of first started, and I'm a handsome chap, but the number of young ladies who seemed to just throw themselves at me was quite amazing. And yes, all of a sudden they'd all like my stuff, and as soon as I friended them back, they'd suddenly tell me how handsome I was and how wonderful I was. Um, and I had a feeling that they may not have been being genuine.
Don't be ridiculous.
I know. I mean, obviously, most of them were, but the odd one or two were probably weren't. Yeah,
The ones that
be
asked for
careful.
credit cards weren't, Chris.
Yeah. Well, they see this is the trouble. So, I mean, these romance scams and things like that. I just think they're the most vile people. They find
Disgusting.
somebody who's lonely,
Vulnerable, yeah.
yeah, vulnerable, and they don't have to be that vulnerable, but just wants some human contact, and then just, I mean, and some of these frauds can go on for 2, 3 years, with them building somebody up, talking to them every day, making them their friend, and then just saying, "Oh, I'm stuck at the airport. Can you send me £20,000 to help me out?" And of course, people do because they're trying to help out a friend, even though turns out that friend's just a load of lies. So, yeah, absolute scum, subhuman scum. Right, so that's social media for you.
As well as organised crime, you get that quite a lot in the CT world as well,
Yeah,
where they'll be making friends with somebody and things like that.
yeah.
Especially like extreme right wing. That's sort of one of the ways that they function.
All right, yeah.
I can't believe though, people, including a lot of family members, they Facebook from being abroad. We got here last week and we're staying here for another fabulous 10 days. Why don't you come and burgle my house?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure I can include that. I was going to include. There used to be a website that you could go on, and it would tell you when people were on holiday. Honestly, you could, where they'd put on Facebook or and the guy who did it said he did it just to show people this could be done. And I think it's been taken down since. But yeah, you used to be able to go on it and just say, oh look, these people are on holiday, and with a bit of work, you could probably work out where they lived. So yeah,
Alison Jenkins is the worst for that.
yeah.
Yes.
She's on there virtually every day. I think she's up in Norfolk yesterday. She's on, so I mean, anybody can find out where she lives.
Yeah. I mean, and we're all friends of her. I mean, I'm a friend as well.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I'm a dog on Facebook. I'm not even a real person, and I'm a friend of hers. So it's she's got no control over who sees her.
I'm not a friend of hers on Facebook because I'm a friend of yours. I can go on your profile and then look at hers through that.
Yeah. But not only that, this week it was, I'm so and so, and Simon's with me too. Here's a picture of him sailing his boat. So damn well the house is empty.
Yeah. If you got actually her address is in the EAF, I think.
Yeah, probably it's in the book, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So good move, Heather. We'll do some burgling instead of what we're talking about.
You probably find your house insurance won't cover you.
Probably got a decent bit of camera equipment that could be nicked.
Yeah, definitely worth.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have took it all with her.
Yeah. Right. So, Black Hole and Northumberland coast. So it's hard to tell the scale here, but this pillar here in the front foreground, top to bottom, is about, I reckon that's about 12, 14 foot down. And this was the one where I was standing there taking this shot, and the waves were breaking down here about 14 foot. And then suddenly a huge wave came in and washed me bag up the side, and it all came over my feet and everything. So you got to be kind of careful there. So, but that's your rocks and stuff. So if in doubt, let's go a bit more old fashioned, because we can't get them through social media. We can't get them through anything else. So, I mean, and it's BBC Scam Week, so I'm not going to labour these too much, because you've probably seen a lot of it about on the BBC at the moment. But there are a lot of ways to lose your money. We all love the Nigerian prince scam. He's got this 10 million quid that he needs to get rid of, and if you could just help him, and if it's not a Nigerian prince, it's a solicitor for somebody, or whatever. And basically, it's just a way of getting hold of your bank detail, and the money never appears, funny enough. And you end up worse off. Yeah, again, the sort of being told that you've won a lottery that you never, if you get told you won something and you never entered it, there's a fair chance, that it's a con. Yeah. Oh, this one, I love these. I do. I do love these. They phone up and they will tell me that there is something wrong with my computer. And then I know that I've got at least a half an hour of fun winding them up.
Yeah, I've had one of them.
Yeah. My favourite one, because you can hear go, because they have different levels of support, for want of a better word. And I like, every time I randomly Google error messages, and every time they ask me to do something, I read one of these error messages. And so they're oh, right. And so you can hear, you go from the initial operators to somebody who's a bit more technical, to then somebody more technical. So you can go for hours with them. It's great. But just in case you hadn't noticed, Microsoft don't phone you up to fix your computer. The phone company.
Don't they?
Nope, the phone company don't phone you up to fix your computer. The tech support department, they don't phone you up.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if they're ringing from India, and if they sound like they're ringing from India on a terrible line, there's a fair chance that they're tech support scams. So we avoid that one if you can. I've just spoke about these romance scams. The usual technique is to become your friend, and then they start love bombing you, and telling you how wonderful you are, and all this sort of thing, and they're trying to basically create an emotional attachment with you so they can get your money. Scam. And gift card scams. So again, just another, anybody who asks for gift cards or Steam cards or Amazon cards as payment for stuff is a crook. Yeah. No legitimate organization asks you to nip down to Sainsbury's, buy a couple of Amazon gift cards and read you the numbers. Yeah, it's just not the way legitimate businesses work.
And they're after hundreds of pounds worth.
Oh yeah. So just some ideas there, things to avoid. And that is pretty much it for tonight. This is Southwell Beach. I took this shot. By the time I got to the top of them stairs, it was hammering down, and I was soaked through to my pants. Mostly things tonight have involved me having a run in with weather, haven't they? I just noticed that.
And your pants getting wet quite a lot.
Yeah. But to be honest, the dry pants are such a novelty. I can't remember what they're like. Anybody got any questions? Anything they want to ask about? Or
You can add my Amazon scam to that, Chris, where they ring you and they say that there's something in your basket that is going somewhere else in the world, and you look in your basket and there it is, and then they try and take control of your phone.
Oh.
Which really convinced, which I think I text the club and told I've discussed it with several of you.
Yeah.
Really frightening. And the IT manager at my old company, he said he would have fallen for it. That's how convincing it is.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot of them are. Yeah, I mean, they can be very convincing. You just have to, if somebody contacts you, work on the principle that, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to contact your bank, Amazon, your phone company. Yeah. When you want to get hold of them, it's really hard work. Yeah. And yet suddenly they're phoning you up on the off chance that you might need a bit of computer support or you might need a problem. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest giveaway then.
But I agree with you, Chris, that 20 minutes of fun can be had when they ring up with problems with the computer. And being an old woman, you can string them along like nobody's business, you know, because you're so thick, you don't know what you're doing. And after about 20 minutes, well, actually, I needed a wee, so I decided to wind it up.
Yes.
And I just said to him, I can't find a control. I've got a CMD. Do I press that instead? The line went dead.
Well, how about this one? My mother-in-law again. So we're in the car driving along. She gets a phone call on her mobile phone, and she's got it on speakerphone. So me and Sharon are sitting in the front as we're driving along. We can hear it. We can hear this. And we can hear this voice from India. And she's sort of saying, oh, yes, oh, blah, blah, blah. And we're saying, it's a scam. It's a scam. We're literally shouting at her, it's a scam. The person phoning her obviously heard us and cut the phone call off. So what does my mother-in-law do?
Brings them back.
She phoned them back.
Didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just
HMRC and the NCA are the other two organisations that people seem to be getting lots of calls from that are absolute scams.
The NCA one, the crime agency, there's a big one going on at the moment, and that's the one where they ask you to go and buy Apple cards and to read the number off the back.
Yeah. No legitimate organisation asked you to pay regular gift cards.
The other one I keep getting is messages asking, they've reviewed my CV and think that these jobs, please will I WhatsApp them?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I had one of them today.
Yeah, please add my number to WhatsApp. I've got a job into
Yeah. I'll send out a link to the. I'll upload the slides and put in the newsletter or put in WhatsApp a link to the slides so you can go through what I've done already. So there's a set of links here on the sites that I showed you, and then there's some videos that I found that would help explain some of the stuff that I've gibbered about, and that's it for tonight. That's Swanage last week. Right,
Chris, can you stop sharing?
Yeah, we go. There you go.
Chris, my biggest concern is the images you're showing. None of us are ever going to win a competition if you put those into a competition. They're brilliant.
Oh, you
Brilliant.
flatterer, you flatterer.
I feel really responsible for this evening because Chris does so much work for the club and resigned from program secretary. And I sort of, with Paul assisting, sort of inherited it. So the first thing I did was I called him and said, we need a talk on software hacking and passwords. So I'm partly responsible, aren't I, Chris, for this evening?
You are totally responsible. I blame you for
And also, when we were going to do a talk together several years ago, you said to me, "Oh, it's going to take hours to set up." And now I can see why it takes so long for you to do a speech, because they are so amazing, so comprehensive, so entertaining, and there's a lot of work's gone into it. How long did that take you, by the way?
what from when you asked me.
Yeah.
And then basically I'll put it together and then I'll come back and then I'll do a bit more and I'll add a bit more. And so I said I didn't know how long it would last or anything. Just
Brilliant.
added stuff as I thought of
Absolutely
them.
brilliant. I'm sure everybody agrees. Absolutely brilliant. And thank you so much for doing it. Really, really. And I've learned a lot. I'm sure everyone's learned a lot. So let's give our chairman a big round of applause.
Well done.
Shut.
Thank you, Chris. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No worries.
Yeah.
One of the best informative, useful evenings we've had for years.
Yeah.
Hey,